this world? Is the destiny of mankind controlled by some transcendental entity or law? Is it like the hand of God hovering above? At least it is true that man has no control, even over his own will.
Pursue their dreams in solitude. Other dreams are like great storms, blowing hundreds, even thousands of dreams apart in their wake. Dreams breathe life into men and can cage them in suffering. Men live and die by their dreams, but long after they've been abandoned, they still smolder deep in men's hearts. Some see nothing more.
I am free on every single thing that I've done. I decided to do. My actions are governed by nothing but my own free will. The only way to live is to fight.
Well, good.
refuse to forget them. And as we ride to certain death, we trust our successors to do the same for us. Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield and face with the cruelty of this world. My soldiers push forward. My soldiers scream out. My soldiers run.
Guys, we logged in. I had a great training session. Definitely improved some things from last week. I didn't post last week, I believe, but you will definitely see the lifts, or yeah, probably I'll put my rambling in the end. So basically, we had week 4. I did squat 230 for 3. Key takeaways for squat was, or basically they felt equally, if maybe tiny bit heavier than last week's felt. And last week was mainly due to was 215, so 15 kilo less. And the only thing I did was basically just switching up my squat stance a tiny bit. Because what what I noticed during squats is that I tended to start off the rehab, if you want to say so, by having my knees point pretty outwards, so I have a very hip dominant squat that is also driven a lot by not only my glutes but also tightness in my lower back and stuff like that. So I'm not really trying to, when I squat, I don't really try to focus on trying to push with my quads or anything. Basically I'm coming out the hole not even thinking about my legs, to be honest. The only thing I think about is staying super tight and super braced and hitting the hole with insane amount of tension. And the only thing I tweaked, as I said before, was to stand a bit wider, tiny bit wider, and rotated my feet a bit outwards, so that I basically had more of a hip dominant stance again, with overall a wider stance. Helped me a lot to basically get the tension back that I wanted, and also regain some of the explosiveness out of the hole. And so you will see that I believe rep 1 and 2 were pretty decent, especially rep 1 and 2 were, from a bar press perspective, way better. Whereas in the third one, I believe I went the deepest, but I also hit the hole in the most lean forward position, so that was a bit bad. Either way, recovered and grinded it up. If I had to be honest, I would say I did have to psych myself up pretty nicely for the squats. Haven't done that in a while. And then also one more factor that might have positively influenced squats was me taking some caffeine. So I had a 200 milligram, I believe, caffeine pill that I had pre-training. And the other thing that also helped me, or that I also took to prevent crampings and dizziness, was I took salt with me. I had my salt distributor with me, my little salt package. Took salt into my bottle here and there, and also helped me severely with the dizziness, because it was quite hot, or it is quite hot still. Yeah, it's like 33 degrees ish, and yeah, you definitely feel that in training, especially you're sweating quite a bit. So that was the reason for the salt. Oh yeah, I need to cross real quick. There's a lot of, or way more tension now, but there might be a tiny imbalance or disbalance, whatever you want to call it, between my right and my left side. It has been a bit shifty, and the reason for that being is, I believe that I'm favoring a bit my right side, which is also not so good because it's it's the side of my injured knee. So I'm favoring that. And you know why I got or why I thought about it? Because until last week maybe I didn't. And I think 1 or 2 weeks ago, me and my girlfriend, we measured our ligaments, like quad size and whatnot. And there I got basically 1.5, maybe 1.2 centimeters more on my right leg. Whereas in January, I think my left leg was around 71.5 and my right leg was like 71.2. So my right leg was lagging behind. Now, decent gains, obviously. My left leg is like 72.6, I think. And my right leg has caught up and exceeded, which is 73.5, 6 also maybe. So almost like a centimeter more. And that is quite a bit on just quad circumference. That told me basically that, oh, maybe I am squatting more on my right side, which isn't inherently bad. It can just be me just favoring my right side a bit more, but still need to work or look into that. Bench, Bench. I think I liked my last warm-up best. I think you will see my last warm-up. It's 170 for 1. Absolutely flew. Why? Because one, positioning was great. I was staying perfectly tight, and also having enough space from the rack. I have to bench in a... Oh, the lighting is bad, but doesn't matter, whatever. It's not like my YouTube channel is built on quality. It's mostly for myself anyways. But basically, the racks in the gym are all like crooked and whatnot. But the thing that annoys me the most is usually I do self lift-offs. And if you do self lift-offs, it can affect your bench in a sense that if you're too far back and you shift it too far back, you will sometimes, what I also always tend to do, hit the rack. And if you hit the rack, your rep will not be so clean. And so basically I felt like my 180 was speedy, very speedy. The speediest 180 I've ever done. Not that I've done too many 180s, but it's maybe like my 5th 180 in my life. So it was pretty speedy. Pulse could have been better. Overall fine. Then, since there was a good friend in the gym who pushed me a bit, shout out to Trenzing, he said, okay, now I wanted to do 170 again because they flew so much, but he pushed me to do 172.5, which was a decent call. I mean, given the 170, I probably, actually I wouldn't have done it by myself, but reasonable jump. So this was my real top set. So doing this block, just to remind myself and you guys, for anyone watching, that this block I had a lighter RPE on my single, and then my triple that was following. So basically my real top set was the triple. Therefore 172.5 was a 2.5 kilo PR. My previous best, my 170 did look quite similar, but it was back in January. So now we have 5 months later and 2.5 kilos put on that. Additionally, plus, I mean, after the single, and then plus after also doing primary deadlifts. Because mind you, I am doing all SBD since 2 blocks now. So for the past 2 blocks, or for this block and the last block, I was doing SBD, primary SBD. So all primary lifts on my day 1. Yeah, and this was interesting. Definitely have to say that this was very interesting, but I guess I adapted, and therefore super happy with the bench still, and just need to focus more on the technique wise, but strength wise, crazy. And as I said, the 170 was technically also, so take that. And then last but not least, deadlifts. My favorite lift, not. Think I did hit 250 for 3 3 blocks ago, maybe 4 blocks ago. I don't know when I last had triples. I believe 3 or 4 blocks ago I hit 250 times 3. Back then hook rip and wider stance conventional. What did I do this block? Last block I did hook rip, but put in my legs a bit. Didn't work out so well. Mind you, I finished last block with 245 times 3 at like I want to say 9.5. It was pretty bad. It was extremely heavy. I don't know what I did there, but yeah, it was pretty heavy. So to be able to come back this block, only thing I switched here was once again narrower stance or actually didn't even narrow my stance that much. The thing that I did was basically just turn my toes in. So I have pretty much straight toes, or almost straight toes, not really perfectly straight, but way more internally rotated than before. Before was, I think, a bit too much. Oh, the sun is burning. It's burning my neck away. I swear it's so hot. I was drinking tons too. Funny story. Some guy came up in the gym and asked me, yo, how long, or like, you're super strong. I'm like, thanks man, appreciate that a lot. And then he asked, damn man, how long have you been training for? And I answered, 6 years now. And pretty much, I think it's a bit less, but it's pretty much spot on, 6 years, up and down. And he was like, oh. And I saw his face drop, because I guess he was a younger dude, probably like 17, 18 or something like that. Also quite well built, or good genetics, who's only training for 2 months. And let me tell you, when I was training for 2 months, I didn't look like him, so decent genetics. And no, he wasn't black. Because shout out to all my black friends. No, but what I wanted to say is that his face basically dropped when understanding that it took me 6 years to get where I am. Because people assume, oh yeah, you're either born or you're genetically gifted to be strong or not. Nah, it doesn't work like that. I hit 250 times 3 on deadlift like 3 years ago maybe. So I just hit a PR today with 255 after 3 years of training. Mind you, obviously I had my surgery last week. Fair enough. Last year I had my surgery, so this put me back quite a bit. But even if you deduct 1 year, to be running into a obstacle or like a wall for 2 years is quite a bit. I didn't want to only break my limits, and I thought, fuck it, today I will ascend to the next level. The 270 times 3 was even, the last rep even was quite comfortable in my lockout. So as I said earlier, I don't know if my lockout may have even been stronger in the past, but I couldn't find out because I didn't get the weight off the floor. So today I got the weight off the floor and my lockout was there, showed up. Nothing to say really. As you can tell, I'm super happy because I got pretty pissed about my lockout. And yeah, it finally showed up, or like my deadlift, and it finally showed up. Don't want to ramble on. Many thanks for watching. I'm super grateful also for getting to know any one of you guys. And that being said, wish you all the love, all the power. Have a good one. Peace.